Hello.
Hi guys! Welcome back. Today I'm here with someone very special. My cat is right down there. No, this is my fiance Sage.
Hello, my name is Sage.
He did such a great job with me. We wanted to film what had been going around YouTube for a while, the boyfriend tag, as an introduction for Sage to the channel. You can't tell by the name, this is kind of now our channel instead of mine, because we thought it was more fun to create videos and memories. Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm looking at the camera. He looks like that.
I mean, I could have, if I'm talking to someone, I look at the person, but if I'm not talking to them, I look at the camera. I don't know, I'm no pro at this.
We'll figure this out as we go.
So,
We're going to be gross. I'm not
So I showed him a little bit ago, Zoe Suggs, or Zoella's boyfriend tag with Alfie, and so we copied the questions. So,
They're solid. I read through a few. I'm forgetting my answers, all prepared and whatnot.
he likes to be prepared.
Of course. Do you want me to do like a where am I from? Like,
As long as you don't say you're from Philly.
I-
He tells everyone he's from Philly.
I am from
He has
Philadelphia.
family from just outside of Philadelphia.
Okay, not just outside. They're an
Just outside. Yeah.
I say I'm from Philly just to upset Catherine. Also to upset people who are actually to work with a girl who is from Philly.
Yeah, it's going on. It's fine.
And she's like, what's your favorite the drive over? I went to a concert there once. It's the only time
I've never been. So.
all the food you can get about an hour outside. Anyways,
Okay. So,
just gonna do the first question.
yeah. Where did
We met at the lovely University of North Georgia.
we Nighthawks?
We met there. It was my first semester
It was my first semester at UNC as an English education.
No, so it was my first semester as a teacher. We actually had 2 classes together. We didn't know that until our second class.
They were on Tuesdays and Thursdays. One was at 11 and one was at 1:30. Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Wait, no, it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
This is a long time ago, so I don't really
This is
care.
a couple years ago.
So, has it really been 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, we took one class which was like intermediate. It
Composition.
was the worst. But then we took another one which was also kind of terrible, but like the best.
The professor made the class great. It was a grammar class.
He was great. It was
Dr. Cowart.
something's happy weapon.
That's probably Tiana.
Yeah. So we were taking a grammar class together, and I like to show up really early, so I was there. I was in my chair. I always sit in the front row because I'm a nerd. And I don't know, when I was on every new first day of a semester, I would always just say, I'm not going to make any friends today because I don't like people. And then this one walked in, looked at me, smiled, and then sat down, and I was like, all right.
So, in the front of the classroom, I sat at the front as well. He sat in the rightmost chair, and I sat dead center because teacher's pet. And I knew it was a hard class, and so I was like, I need to be up front so that I don't get distracted.
And then she was stuck looking at me all the time.
So,
Yeah. We ended up becoming friends late. Well, we like traded information. I think I got your Snapchat.
you got my Snapchat day one.
I got her Snapchat day one, and that's because we were all talking, saying, "Oh, we all need to study with one another." And then I was like, "Yeah, we can study."
I was dating someone else at this point.
I think I was I don't think I was in the place to date.
Yeah.
Never really was until you, though. It's fine. So I was like, we can study, and I was just trying to be a good old flirt. And then I think like 2 days later, I found out you had a boyfriend, and I was like, nope, not gonna go there.
But we still wound up studying together.
We did.
Almost every day.
Just about. We would always go to this one Starbucks and study every day. To the point where we would stop studying and then we'd go to all the stores.
There was an outlet mall like right next to the Starbucks.
It was the only place I ever got shoes. That's why I found the online area.
Yeah.
All these different shoe stores. And then eventually we just started to be friends outside of studying. We would grab coffee all the time at school. We'd go to movies.
Yeah, we went and saw Frozen 2.
It was the first film we saw together, Frozen 2. So good.
I smuggled in Chick-fil-A in a blanket, and then
she did do that.
I didn't share my blanket, and now I feel really bad about that. But
that's where I got the idea to smuggle in food. You brought. I almost said snuggle in food. You brought in food, and then I went and saw a film with another friend of ours, and I ended up bringing like 2 large bags of Wendy's in, but I was like not. I
sneak it in. He's just like, here's the food.
They'll be fine. They know my prerogatives. As long as I get a bucket of popcorn, they're gonna be fine. Anyways, that's where we met.
Yeah. And we were friends, like just friends, for 6 months. We were best friends for 6 months. And then...
Was it only 6 months? I can't remember.
So we met in August, and then we started becoming really, really close in like October.
And then we started dating in March. Like early March.
So during that time, I obviously broke up with my ex, and he helped me move out.
Rescued.
He was my knight in a gold Toyota Camry.
I did help. I took your dog from where you were. That was the most interesting drive ever. This dog who never left this house, never went outside the backyard.
Except for to go to the vet, and that's it.
Was sitting in my car going, like, in the back. But she was so energetic, going back and forth. And then we finally get to her parents' place, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. And then here we are. I did that again at some point in time.
We're doing it again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now we have another dog.
Yeah.
But the next question is, where was our first date?
Oh, okay. We're going first.
This is a trick question.
Not really. It's not a trick because I know the answer to it. So our first official date was we saw a film called Onward. It was the new Disney Pixar film. We saw that in theaters, and then like 2 or 3 days later, movie theaters shut down.
The world shut down because of COVID.
That was our first official date. Then the world shut down, and we've been kind of just chilling ever since.
Yeah.
And basically from that point on, we were basically living together at that point.
Yeah.
Basically. She spent like 2 nights at her parents' place, and then 5 nights at mine.
Yeah, and the dog would come with me. She would go from wherever I was, she was.
What we constitute as our first date was the first outing that you had after your breakup.
Yeah. And to preface, I was very over this relationship a very long time before it ended. I don't want to sound like a boyfriend hopper or whatever, but
no,
it was like a few days after.
Yeah. And so I was at work, and then I came to her place, and I realized so I brought hockey jerseys for the 2 of us because we went to a hockey game. Who would have thought? It wasn't this one. I realized I didn't have a pair of pants. I was wearing slacks that had large holes in them because I worked at a grocery store where I would just get holes in my pants all the time. It was the worst. So I ran to Target, grabbed a pair of pants, ran back. Everything was all fine and dandy. I get back to your parents' place, because she was living with her parents at the time, and all of her family members, every single one of them was like, wow, you went to Target and came right back?
He was gone for maybe 20 minutes. It's like unheard of. Oh no.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Anyways, so that was our first date was the hockey game. We showed up. I think did we both have a drink, or was it just you?
It was just me that time. So we had gone to a couple of hockey games before this point, and I would always wear his Boston Bruins jersey.
I ended up so my father got me a Boston Bruins jersey for Christmas one year, and then I would always let her wear that one, and then I would wear a Vancouver Canucks jersey because my father got me that one the same year. I think that was in 2011 or 2012. I think it might have been the Christmas of 2011. Not 100% sure on the time, but we would always wear those. And then, what was it your birthday, or was it Christmas?
It was.
Or was it just a random day?
Valentine's Day.
This past Valentine's Day, I got her own Boston Bruins jersey so we can match, and I made sure it was players who played together when they won the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, very sweet.
Who thought?
So I would normally wear his Bruins jersey to the games, but for our first date, I was like...
We didn't know it was our first date.
We didn't constitute it as a date until afterwards.
I enjoyed it.
Me too. I was like, no, I'm not gonna wear a jersey. Like, I'm gonna dress up.
You told me, I remember this specifically. You told me I'm gonna dress up and try to impress some guys there, something along that line. And
I knew I wanted to dress up for you. But I played it off as being like, some of the hockey players are really cute.
So,
I might be able to dress up and like get their attention.
So we're going, and then she tells me this, and she's like, you know what? If I look good, I might be able to get some attention. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna beat him up. That's my friend you're looking at. And then 2 days later, I find out I'm the reason that I wanted to beat them up.
My whole family had met him at this point,
yes.
Except for Larry.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Except for my brother-in-law.
Giving him a hard time. He's a good guy.
And they all knew that we had feelings for each other. Every single one of them.
Except for us. We were the only
Except
ones.
us. We had no idea.
No idea. Who would have thought that, like... who would have thought marrying your best friend was going to be, like, the coolest thing in the world?
Right?
Yeah. Like, my dad wasn't lying about that weirdo. But I remember that game. That game, that was the... I forget which game it was. There was a word for it, but we went to an Atlanta Gladiators game. And the Atlanta Gladiators have had, the city of Atlanta has had 4 different hockey teams for years and years and years.
Professional hockey teams.
Professional, yes. It was the Atlanta Flames, the Atlanta Knights, the Atlanta Thrashers, and then the Gladiators. And I remember every single period, what was the Gladiators, they would be called and announced
and wearing jerseys
as the Flames, the Knights, the Thrashers, and then the Gladiators. And it was the coolest thing because they ended up going to overtime and winning as the Gladiators.
Yeah.
It was the best feeling. And we were sitting next to the sweetest couple ever, and we looked at them, and like as we were leaving, we're like, you guys look like such a cute couple. And then they looked at us, and they're like, looked at her, and they're like, you look like Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory.
So they said that when they were sitting down. I had just gotten straight across bangs, and I had curled my hair, and I was wearing big tortoise glasses, like tortoise shell print glasses.
I went.
And the guy was like, yeah, he did. And the guy was like passing us to sit down, and I think he sit next to me, or did the girl?
It was me, you, guy, girl.
Okay. But he like looked at me and he was like, I seriously thought that you were Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory. And then when we were leaving, I vividly remember this. When we were leaving, we were like, oh my gosh, you guys were so fun. Like, you're such a cute couple. And they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are too. And we were like, we're not a couple. And like 2 days later, we realized, no, the next day. The next day we realized we liked each other. Yeah, less than 24 hours later.
It was the perfect date. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Best first date I've ever been on.
Yeah.
can't wait for my next best first date. When you're my wife.
Oh. Yeah.
What's the next question?
So the next question is, what was your first impression of me?
Was it?
Yeah. So what was your first impression of me?
Am I allowed to use like verbal cues? This is the only way I can think of. You walked in and I was like, but in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just had a nice smile, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna go somewhere. I knew it in my head that was gonna go somewhere. I didn't know it was gonna go to this extent.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, if I didn't start with those intentions, you know.
Yeah. Well, and like you said earlier, like at that point when we met, you were not in the place to be in a serious relationship, so you wouldn't have had the thought of where it was going.
Yeah. Life has run me over by a few trains here and there. Let's say that.
It has, but
I mean,
you made it through.
true.
Drink it
Only 1 or 2 limbs missing. What was your first impression of me? Or are you asking me these questions? I don't know how this is.
I can answer.
Let's go for it.
I remember walking in, so I'm at the door. Right here is where he was, like a few feet back, but like diagonally in front of me. And I like smiled at him. I smile at everyone. Like it's just what I do.
She saw this glooming beauty and she was like, smile.
And at this point, he had shorter hair than what he has now.
Oh my god, this is the longest you've ever seen my hair.
Yeah, and he had a beard, like a big beard.
We can add a picture in just for reference.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And like, I had never been a beard person before, but like, you with a beard, I mean, you look good no matter what, but like, I like you with a beard, just not as bushy as that one.
2 weeks before we had met, I was flying out of Atlanta with my mother and my sister to London, and we were going to hang out in London for a little while and then sail from a port in London through Norway, through the fjords of Norway. This was in the middle of the summer. Oh my god, was it cold. It was so cold. It's like I had a lip, probably about like half an inch of facial hair more on my face. I came back with like, I was able to grab my beard and pull on it.
It was something.
You were the only one who noticed when I shaved that too. Yeah. I remember that day. I remember that, and I was trying to get everybody to like compliment my beard, and so I texted you, and I was like, can you ask if I shave my beard? And
I had already mentioned it to him, but it was just the two of us in the room.
And she did. And then one other person was like, oh, it looks nice, and I was like, that's all I needed. That was Natalie, wasn't it?
That was Natalie.
Good old Natalie.
Yeah, we had a couple people in our grammar class that we were.
Everybody.
A couple people immediately surrounding us. It was you, me, Brooke, Elizabeth, and Janine, and Natalie.
Yeah.
And JC. JC was our TA.
Poor JC.
But I remember walking in and smiling at you, and you smiled back at me. And
I don't do that on the first day, so.
He never smiles back at people. Without knowing them. But
I am so introverted. I am introverted to the point where if I go out and somebody says hi to me, I'm more inclined to just not answer. Because I don't like people. Like, peopling is just so overwhelming. Like when we went to Universal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. There was like 30 people surrounding us, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. Somebody give me a drink.
But
Got ourselves a butterbeer at that point in time.
You smiled at me, and I remember thinking you just had the best, most genuine smile. And then I think, was it day one that we kind of started making smart alecky comments to Dr. Cowart?
100%.
Yeah, and he made some joke.
Me or him?
You made some joke to Dr. Cowart, and I was just like, all right, I need to be his friend. When did you meet the family?
Oh man, we were at school one day. This is when I met her family. We were at school one day, and it was in between classes. We had like a 2-hour break. Was it like a 2
or 3 hour break?
It was a pretty substantial break. we drive over to there's a Target and like an Office Depot. Was it an Office
Target, Office Depot, PetSmart, Home Depot.
This is like this little shopping
TJ
center.
Maxx.
So we go down there. We're going to Target, getting some stuff for Christmas and whatnot. We go over to like this Office Depot place, and you call your dad and ask him about these pens.
Yeah.
Specific pens. Here,
He had put stockings in my pens. Pens in my stocking.
I got one.
He's got one. This specific brand of pen, it makes my handwriting look really good. It's really comfortable to write with. I'm very picky. It's a T, U with the little bar over it, an L, tool.
Umlau, I believe that's what that is.
I don't know.
Actually, that's a German dot, so it's not that.
So they look like this. And you can only get them at Office Depot and Office Max because they're the same company.
So she called her dad to ask about them. I don't know why. They were right there.
Well, I wanted to make sure I was getting the same thing that he had gotten us. They looked different.
Yeah. So at this point in time, her parents lived about 5 minutes from where we were.
Yeah.
And she tells me, let's go see my parents. And this is way before we were dating.
Yeah.
And in my head, and probably verbally, I said, why do you want me to meet your parents?
No, you didn't ask that.
I definitely thought it. I was like, why do you want me to meet your parents? Like, are they cool? I don't know. In my head, I was like, people don't like me meeting their parents. I am not the person that people, like, I was not the person that people would bring home to meet their family. It's just, life has just changed so much. So I was like, I don't know if she knows what she's getting into. But we go, and I am so bad about finding a place to sit when I'm at a new place. So it's about the layout that we have. There's a chair over there, there's this chair, and there's the couch. Or it was like a couch, a love seat, and there was like a chair in the corner.
Yeah.
And the parents sat on the love seat, you sat on the couch, and I didn't know where to sit. For some reason, I was like, I feel weird just sitting wherever. So I sat on the floor, and your parents asked me a billion questions about myself.
I had talked about him as a friend, like, so much up to this point with my parents. I was like,
friend?
Yeah, a friend. And like, they had seen that I had just started to basically come back to life with being around you. And so that's why I took you to meet my parents then, because my parents were like, bring him over. We want to meet him.
So that happened, and I remember hearing soon after we started dating, and when I asked I asked both of her parents, not just her father, if I could ask Catherine to marry me, ask for their blessing. That's what it's called. And he told me that when I met them, he knew immediately that I was going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
So.
And he knew even more on our first date. Well, not the hockey game.
The official day.
For the movie. Because that was the night you asked me to be your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed up
2 weeks after the hockey day. The hockey
game. He showed up with 24 roses and like had dressed nicely, came to the door, knocked, like shook my dad's hand. You went to the bathroom.
Did I?
Before we left. Yeah, and my dad came over to me while I was putting the roses in a vase. And my dad goes, now that's how it's done.
I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah. So.
No, I mean, I knew what I was doing. I was like,
Your parents raised you very well and taught you the right things.
I knew well enough going into that date that I was going to be there for a while. You were going to be stuck in my life for a while. I don't care. No, I went in that and I was like, yeah, we're going to go with a good old impression. And I mean, I feel like I did pretty good.
And my parents already loved him at this point because we had been going, after that first time that I took him over, we had gone to my parents' apartment.
We played hooky going there.
So we did that. We started going there in between classes instead of going to Starbucks. Because my mom made us coffee, my mom made us food.
Your
and
mom
it
makes
was
good coffee
free.
too.
Yeah, mom knows how to make coffee.
Yeah. Except for what she did with almond milk. I don't really like the almond milk that much.
Yeah, she just didn't have regular milk.
But I drank it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
But we played hooky there a couple times. We had mental health days.
I don't miss those apartments.
No, me either. God, there was this family with a bunch of kids above us. It was awful. But yeah, so that's when he met my parents, and then the rest of my family just kind of like shows up sometimes, and so it just happened to be when he was over.
Periodically, I would just be like asleep on your mom's couch, and then somebody would knock at the door and I'd go get it, and then I'd be like, Catherine, some guy's here, and then some guy would walk in, and then she'd be like, that's my brother, and I was like, oh, yeah. Some guy's here.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, your sister, it was the day your sister was coming over. It was the first time I had met her sister and her sister's children, and I was dead asleep on the couch, and everybody was coming in, and then one of her sister's children,
my niece,
she saw me and looked at me, and then I don't know why, she went and ran behind your sister, and then I just kind of cowered on the couch. I was like, I'm not that scary.
So my niece is very shy. Even now, she's shy around all of us.
She's opened up.
She's opened up around us, but like
more so to you.
My brother or my other brother-in-law, so not her father, but her uncle. She's just very shy. She always has been, and so she was not prepared. My sister didn't know that Sage was going to be there, and so she was not mentally prepared, and so she was like, it was funny.
What about when you met my family?
So, the day after the hockey game, we went to church, and then I went over to his house, and we watched a few episodes of Game of Thrones.
You've never seen it before.
Because I'd never seen it. He taught me how to shoot a bow.
That was awesome.
Which was so fun. I have the video still.
You do?
Yeah. I think I have it on my Instagram.
If I can figure out how to insert here. There it is. Perfection.
Yeah. So I don't think I met them that day.
I thought you met my mom. I can't remember.
Yeah, I met your mom briefly because my parents were taking care of Minnie, now our dog, but my dog at the time. And they were like, you gotta come get your dog. She's going crazy.
So the next time you came over, you ended up bringing your dog, so you could just hang out at my place and not have to worry about driving home.
It was like 2 days later.
Yeah, it's like a 40-minute drive, and that can be a lot sometimes.
Especially with the dog.
Yeah. So at that point in time, you just started staying at my place, and
yeah, I stayed over that night.
It was one of my lifelong friends. Her name's, let's say their name is Mary. Her father has a birthday annually. Who would have thought? He has an annual birthday party, like the same thing. His wife makes a lasagna that is amazing. Well, they are having me over for that, and I got to meet Mary's little sister's boyfriend for that first time. That was fun. I got to intimidate him because I knew her little sister since she was like 5 years old. So it's crazy seeing her grow up because she's almost 18 now.
She is 18 now.
I hate that.
So while he was at Mary's house for Mary's father's birthday, I stayed at his house with the dog, and his bedroom was the basement, and so I was in the basement, and I had never met his sister Holly before.
Oh, I forget how awkward that was just leaving you there.
Yeah, it was a little uncomfy, but
I told you to come, but I don't know.
You said you would love for me to come, but you didn't feel comfortable inviting me to something that you weren't hosting.
Yeah.
And I totally get it. Knowing Mary's parents, it would have been totally fine.
Yeah.
You know, they're amazing people. But so he had told his sister that I
just gonna chill out.
Was just gonna hang out for a couple hours, and it was it St. Patrick's Day?
No, it was
Green pancakes.
Yeah, it was St. Patrick's.
It was St. Patrick's Day.
It was just kind of weird because Mary's father's birthday is in January, and Mary's birthday is on St. Patrick's Day, but we went over to celebrate Mary's father's birthday.
Who knows? But so his sister.
Wait, was that one?
Yeah.
Let's just say
His sister came to the stairs and was like, "Hey, Catherine, I'm Sage's sister. I'm making green pancakes. It's a family tradition. Do you want any?" And so, because she felt bad that I was just like sitting in the basement by myself. And
you were by yourself.
Well, I had many, but you know, I was just like sitting in his bedroom listening to footsteps upstairs because I was in the basement. And so she invited me to eat with her and make pancakes with her. And so we did. And then
I came
Sage
home.
got home.
I did come home. I told them I had to come home a little early. I told them I had family coming into town, my uncle and whatnot.
Really, Holly was like, just call him. He'll be there forever if you don't just call him and tell him to come home.
Yeah. We weren't dating at that point in time.
We were exclusively seeing each other without having stated it.
Yeah. It's a good way of phrasing it.
Yeah. So we weren't like official. As my parents put it, we were going steady.
Yeah. I mean, that's accurate.
We were going steady before, or we were dating before going steady.
Yeah. So
Whatever.
there was that, and then right before I proposed, I was told that I was your boyfriend by your father.
Yeah, my dad started calling him my boyfriend, fiancé boyfriend, because we had been talking about it for a couple months, like very seriously talking about getting married, and like we had contacted our wedding venue. I'm sure from
We'll get into that later.
other stuff they know, but like
Who would have thought?
we had contacted our wedding venue at this point with like a date in mind. We had set a date. What?
I was gonna.
Oh.
There we go.
So yeah, so my dad started calling him my boyfriend.
All right.
Okay, so
Do I have any weird obsession? If so, what? What's my weird obsession, if any?
I don't think it's like an obsession.
Oh God, that doesn't start well.
Well, you really like the Aragon series.
Oh my God, I love that
and it's not
series.
weird, but like that's just something that I know you really, really
I
like.
love that series.
Something that's a little more on the weird side to me because I was never like a collector of anything. You collect pop Funkos.
Yeah,
and
I do.
so
I used to have a really large collection. I put all of them away and I started over completely. And I am building shelves to put. I got a whole whole group of Spider-Man ones that I'm gonna put up. I still have to build the shelf.
the heroes and the villains. It's actually really cool.
But I have an entire box full of pops that I just have that I've been meaning to just donate, but I haven't gotten around to it. I'm trying to find a place that'll just take toys for free.
I think we're gonna try and donate them to one of the children's hospitals in downtown Atlanta.
The only issue right now is COVID.
Yeah.
And even though like things are slowing down at this point in time, still,
We might have to hold on to them for a few more months, but
And
I
that's fine
think
by me.
it'll
see.
be fine.
I was selling them online, but the issue was everybody was so rude about things.
And they were
They're
like, well, I don't want this one in the set, but I want this one in the set, and I'm not going to pay this much, but I only want to pay this much.
And if it's not here within 3 days, I don't want it. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
no, I'm the one who's selling it. You know. So I figured it's easier to just give it to people who are actually going to appreciate them. Because I talked to some people and they're like, oh, I don't really like them. I just like finding a good deal.
It's just fun to search for them.
So that's not my vibe.
Yeah.
Any weird obsession you have? Let's see. Man. I mean, she loves the wall. Hold on. I don't think you really have any weird obsessions. It's not anything that is abnormal.
I mean, at this point, like, some people would say that Disney is my weird obsession.
Yeah, but I don't think that.
But having done the DCP and, like, all of that, Disney is more of, like, my lifestyle at this point.
I mean,
and
you
not something that I'm, like, obsessed with.
You like Target a lot.
Yeah, I don't like it as much anymore. I liked it a lot when we first started dating.
I love TJ Maxx.
Yeah, TJ Maxx is fun.
And Marshalls.
But, like, I'm finding joy in what we have right now, especially with saving for the wedding.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything weird though.
No.
What's the next one?
How long have we been together? We kind of already answered that.
So we got together. We started dating March 15th of 2020, right before the pandemic.
Right before the world shut down
yeah,
from the pandemic.
The pandemic was here and there, but that was right when it's like that was right when we. Yeah. Now it is. We got engaged on July 21st.
My birthday.
Which was like 4 months later.
Yeah. But, I mean, having been best friends for
5 months
so
later.
long.
It was 5 months. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it
got
was 5
split nail.
Oh
Now I'm gonna die.
no.
But, so we've been together since
March 15th of 2020.
another coffee burp, sorry.
That's okay. We both were drinking coffee and it makes us both a little
I'm about to make another one.
burp.
It was so good.
Yeah, that's how long we've been together. We've been engaged for coming up on a year now of our 16-month engagement. Finally, we're at 5 months. Do we have any traditions?
We go to bed and wake up.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have. I feel like, first off, we haven't been together long enough to create traditions. Because I feel like, to me, traditions are like an annual thing.
Plus, it's been a really crazy year.
Yeah, it's been a weird year with everything being closed. So that is to be determined. Stop picking at it.
It hurts.
Well, put a Band-Aid on it.
Does it look like I have a Band-Aid on me?
I will get you one.
I do want to do, once hockey games come back, they start coming back, tickets are already on sale now. And we're actually planning on going one to celebrate your father's retirement.
Yeah, if my parents don't go out of town to celebrate my dad retired.
I'm still going to go to that game regardless because it's going to be the opening game.
And we
Amazing.
promised when everything shut down, we were like, we're going to the first game together.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that could be our thing.
Yeah. What was our first road trip?
We went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yeah, Gatlinburg.
It was right around the time things were closing, and so the entire city of Gatlinburg was actually
shut down.
Pretty shut down, yeah.
There were maybe like 4 things open.
It was great. We got an Airbnb up there. It was really nice. It had a hot tub. It had a large bed.
Yeah. I think it was like a California king size bed. It was huge.
So nice. The kitchen was great.
Yeah.
We had food Instacarted to us, and then we ended up going to the grocery store there.
Yeah.
And all we did was we hung out there, and we made food, watched some TV, and that was it. And it was like the perfect getaway. We
were supposed to go to Disney that week because it was our spring break, but Disney closed a week before.
Which was the worst.
And so just like last second we were scrambling to find something, and I'm so glad that we found that cabin. And actually now that cabin is no longer available for rent, or I would link it because it was amazing.
They have some other ones. I think that.
No, they're not renting any of their cabins right now. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Are they living in all of them?
I mean, they may have family that is living in all of them because of the pandemic. We've already kind of talked about some of this stuff, and a lot of it doesn't really apply to us because we do everything together.
No, favorite restaurant.
What's my favorite restaurant? I don't think I have a favorite restaurant.
I don't have a favorite restaurant, but I love Mexican food.
Yeah, he does love Mexican food.
It's so good.
What color are my eyes? Do you really not know what color my eyes are?
What color are mine?
Your eyes are brown.
Oh, you hesitated.
Your eyes are brown.
I think yours are like a greenish hazel. They blue.
Yeah, my eyes are blue. I'm marrying you, and you don't know what color my eyes are?
Let me see those. They're not blue.
My eyes are blue.
A little. They're like a light sapphire. Is that a blue color?
Yes.
I'm bad at color. We'll just say I'm
They're like a bluish gray.
Alright, what you got? May I? I'm gonna pick the next one.
I was gonna say, what is my favorite sports team?
Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
It's my favorite sports team.
Philadelphia Flyers.
That's right. Because I'm from Philly. I am from this.
You are not.
What is something you do that I wish you didn't? That's a weird phrase question. What is something that I do that you like, a pet peeve? I think I know what the answer is.
What do you think it is?
I want to hear what your answer is, and then I'm going to provide mine.
No, what do you think it is?
Wake you up in the morning.
Yeah, and tickle me all the time.
It gets you out of bed.
Yeah. He's not kind when he wakes me up in the morning.
At like 7 o'clock, the day's awake. It's time to go.
And he goes, the sky's awake, so I'm awake.
And I have to play.
From Frozen.
Yeah. And at that point in time, I'm laying on you.
Yeah. Do I play any sports?
What counts as a sport?
I don't know. Do I play any
I
sports?
don't think so. Do you play sports?
I played soccer when I was younger.
I think those are all the good questions from that.
And
We can put the list. We'll put a list of questions in that video.
yeah. We'll put the whole list in there if you guys want to do it, but like, we do everything together.
Yeah.
But like, I did ballet growing up and cheerleading. Cheerleading is a sport.
What's my favorite sport?
What's your favorite sport?
Yeah.
Hockey.
Yeah.
Duh.
You know what the worst part is? I have no idea how to ice skate.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think I went one time and I was like trying to walk on it. I was like, why is it not working?
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know what else to include in this video. I feel like it's been really long, but I hope this has given you guys a chance to get to know us as a couple, but
You'll get to know me later
especially.
on, more so.
Yeah, we are leaving 2 weeks from the day this is filmed to go to Disney World. And we are...
I'll be there.
Yeah. We're planning on
Come say hi.
vlogging some during the trip.
Some.
I don't want to say that we're going to vlog the whole trip because we really want to just enjoy it.
Yeah, we haven't had a vacation in forever.
Yeah. So, I don't know how much we're going to do vlog-wise, but like there will be something from that trip.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's this video. Our Instagrams. Well, do you want your Instagram linked?
No.
Okay. My Instagram is linked below. Is there anything else that you want to say?
We'll get them next season.
Oh yeah, all of our teams are out of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst.
It's so sad.
But next season.
Next season.
As us Georgia Bulldogs fans say. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
We got a brand new day. Good love is on the way. And if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.